questions that they have. Then anyone wishing to speak to the proposal will be asked to come forward and voice their opinions. People will have 10 minutes to speak. Once your request is heard, the board's decision is rendered and you may leave the meeting. However, if you have questions for staff, please wait until after the meeting, or you may contact them at the office the following day. Once public testimony and discussion for a particular item is concluded, the members of the board will deliberate and render its decisions. Members with a personal or financial interest in any request are required to recuse themselves from voting. All decisions by the Architecture Review Board are final. Any aggrieved parties may appeal the decision of the board to the City Council within 15 days for procedural issues only. If your request is denied by the board, petitioners may appeal the board's decision to circuit court within 30 days of the meeting. We have 5 members present. Oh, looks like 6. So we have a quorum at 5, and I think that we have one other person coming later. Let me introduce our members. Cedric Campbell, Elizabeth Brown, Jack Johnson, Jeremy Kelly is not here, John Hayden, Hillary Morgan, Katie Williams, and Kalia Bell is not here today. All right, first petitioner. Good morning, afternoon, evening,
Good afternoon.
Whatever this is.
My name's Rick Sigrist. I'm here with representing Mr. Yasmin regarding Knox Hall. I believe all of you probably have received the amended site plan before, you got it after the agenda went out, if I'm not mistaken.
Talking about this?
Yep.
Got it.
So that was
One on the screen.
Thank you again for your suggestions. It was prudent that we do get an engineer, a civil engineer. We got Kenneth White to come in and do a draw up of the site plan amended to your recommendations and suggestions from the previous meetings. I don't know if each one of you has had a chance to look at it to see the difference between the previous and this one. Another thing we wanted to mention was we have done due diligence with like the Montgomery Police Department. They have no problem with the traffic issue, if you will, on the street there. So that should not be an issue. Most events are going to be, if you think about it, because it's an event venue, they'll probably be after 5 o'clock anyway. We're talking weddings and so on and so forth. So parking, we have parking in the back, and then there are parking decks. So that should not be an issue either, just because of the type venue that Knox Hall will be. We also had, because there had been discussion, and I think we resolved it, but we did bring in Alabama Tree Service to thoroughly inspect the 2 oaks, and we were advised that indeed the pruning and the shaping would be a good thing for the trees, and that it would not impede, the driveway would not impede them at all, that there are other areas that drives are even closer than the 2 trees that we now have on the property. We, again, are trying to bring back and help revitalize downtown. I think this is a great way to do it. It's a beautiful old historic home. This is a great way for revenue to come in. It's using downtown again. It's bringing back the dignity to that home that would probably just be falling in because it's been empty on and off for years. As you can see, the amended copy that's up on the screen now or in front of you does show where we were able to determine how we could widen the width there to the 20 feet, where at least 2 cars, if needed, which most likely would not be used, but in case, could be on the drive at the same time. So they could be side by side. There could be, as you see, 2 cars on the front and one's driving around. There will be attendants also at the entrances, at the top and at the bottom, that will help direct traffic during the events at the venue. So these attendants will help with any kind of traffic flow or anything going on like that. That will, again, help not impede the traffic on the street there. We have discussed again with Alabama Tree Service. We talked about the landscape. Kenneth White was a civil engineer that came in. He agreed that we would be able to landscape the property with the driveway in a way that it would be fine. You would see it, the curb appeal from the house. It would not impede that at all by widening the driveway. Do you have any other questions, or do you think we're in good shape? I think we've been prudent with your ideas, suggestions.
Is there anyone from the audience who wants to speak to this project? Then, board members?
I think your client's going to like this a lot more than the single drive, and especially with the 20 foot at the top, because when somebody goes past the entrance and goes into the exit, which I've done before at venues myself, it makes it's going to make things a lot more able to flow. The only question I have, and this is purely aesthetics, is it appears the fountain is a bit off-center to the left. Is there a reason to put it there? And they're very well meet, rather than try to center it for symmetry.
I'm to be quite honest with you, Kenneth may have just shown it that way but I don't want to say that there would be a reason for it. I would think it would be centered, because otherwise I wouldn't even want to put one, and that's part of my design would be. And I think it would look awkward.
I mean, you want symmetry when you cut it down.
Sure.
You put the right in the middle, the left and the right.
You want it visually, and the curb appeal would look much better. So yeah, I do agree with that. I think that was just
I think he's done that because he's got the fountain in front of the doors for symmetry, but the drive can't be symmetrical because of the keeping of the trees.
Okay. Again.
So they might have some ulterior thoughts on that. I mean, because the drive and the house are not aligned, but I believe it's because of the keeping of the trees. So, and that to me is purely an aesthetic thing. Typically, you do kind of have it straight,
The house is sort of an exercise.
But it's much
in
improved
formal
over the
balance.
last.
It's sort of an exercise in formal balance. Everything is lined up. If you've got a window on one side, you've got a window on the other. So I think that the drive needs to be centered on the door rather than way back over here.
yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I don't think that would be a
Okay.
Ms. Anderson, just for my understanding, this will still have to get approval from engineering or traffic, pending approval from ARB, right? For the curb cut location?
For the curb cut, traffic has looked at this in the various iterations and actually recommended that this would probably be the better form for this commercial use. Because it's smart code, it'll go through the consolidated review process as needed.
Okay.
All right. Are we ready for a motion?
Are you going to center the drive?
Put,
Are you guys going to center the driveway on the house? Because if you do that, it looks like you do have to remove the trees, or is the driveway going to be off-centered? in order to keep the
Is the
trees.
driveway gonna be off center?
Yes, to keep the trees.
No. It would not be.
Well,
I don't know
currently
that.
it appears off-center.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. I think it is off-centered a little bit, just, I
To-
think she's asking, is it gonna be symmetrical with the property and the house? And I think Kenneth has it off-center, you know, to make everything work together.
Well, I mean, what I understood from him, it would, I didn't hear anything about it being off-centered with the property, because I know we were discussing the landscape and how we would be able to balance that. So I don't think that's going to be an issue with as far as visual or, you know, any of the aesthetics that go along with that. I think once everything is in, it will be a stamped driveway. It will be well landscaped. So I don't think that there will be any problem with
Okay.
an off-center at all.
All right. All right, I'll make a motion that this project be accepted with the caveats that the driveway needs to be centered on the house and the fountain needs to be centered on the house. And we have not received any design for a fountain, so you may have a fountain, but we need to look at the fountain before
Okay, that's
it's
fine.
installed.
Yeah, that's not a problem.
Anything else? That's not a very, see, you would have made a neater motion.
Ms.
No,
Brown,
that was fine.
you might consider, and this is just for your benefit, one of the things I noted in the cover memo I sent to them is that they could go ahead and approve the removal of those trees
Thank
so
you.
that if you get into the construction of it and they turn out to be in the way, you don't have to come back. That doesn't mean you have to take them
Right.
out. It just means you have permission to take them out.
Right, right.
All right, and we also approve the conditional removal of the trees if necessary during construction.
Yes, ma'am.
How's that?
And you're saying you're okay with centering that drive up?
Yes,
which is
ma'am. Yes,
not
sir.
like it is there.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All in
'Cause that's-
favor?
That's
Wait a
different.
Wait,
Wait a minute.
You don't have a second yet.
oh, second?
I'll second.
All right, all in favor? All right, thank you.
Thank you so much. We do appreciate it.
Kayla Jordan, Old Cloverdale, Westmoreland Avenue.
This is one of your supplemental drawings next to your desks. It's got the address on it, 111, or 1111 Westmoreland. Is that right?
1102.
1102 Westmoreland.
1102?
That one.
Okay. All right, go right ahead, Kayla.
Hi, I'm Kayla Jordan, seeking request for approval after the fact. Last time we spoke, you wanted a drawing so that the cover for the roof would be removed and then redone with shingles so it would be more in sync with the house. And I submitted the drawing. A little late to be on the agenda, but I believe you'll have that.
All right. Any comments from the audience?
Darby Forster with the Old Cloverdale Association. Christy emailed me a copy of the drawing, and I didn't bring it with me. I know that in the presentation that the board had asked last time that the fascia and soffit should be installed to help blend better with the house. Is that on the drawing? Okay, I just wasn't sure about that.
All right. Any other comments? Board? They're being so quiet tonight. Ken, it looks to me like you did the sort of things we asked you to do.
Yes, ma'am.
Real quick, Kayla, we got to put you under a time limit. How much time do you think you'll need to get the things made?
Well, it took them 2 months to draw that, so I'm guessing at least 2 months.
How about 6?
That's perfect.
All right.
All right. You want to make a motion?
I move that we
Please.
approve as submitted, provided that Ms. Jordan has the changes complete within 6 months from today.
Second.
All in favor? Excuse me.
Bless you.
Opposed?
Bless you.
Bless you.
All right. I believe you may go and do good work.
Is that a yay or a nay?
I believe that was a yay. All right. Haley Carnes? All right. Cloverdale, Alawal, LeBron Road. What are you going to do?
So, yes, sir. My name's Haley Barnes. This is my dad, Richard Barnes. I was looking to add on a pergola to my property on LeBron. The way that...
Put the microphone closer to you.
Oh, okay.
You can take
So
your
sorry.
mask off if you want.
Okay. Is that better?
Yeah.
So my name's Haley Carnes. I was here requesting to be able to add on a pergola onto the side of my property on LeBron. So that's the front of my house. The deck, as it stands, is on the side of the house, and I was requesting to add on the pergola that would stand over about 2/3 of the existing deck.
All right. It is nice to have cover, is it not?
I'm sorry, say that again?
It's nice to have cover when you sit
Yes, ma'am,
outside.
absolutely. It's very hot at certain times of the year.
We had constructed, I had built a pergola like this over my deck, my home in Monroe, and we really hadn't been able to use the deck until we built the pergola, and it provides enough shade that you can actually get out there in the summer and enjoy it.
All right.
I need one.
Are you planning to paint the pergola or just leave it pressure treated?
I'm planning, yeah, just to I treat it, but no paint.
Yeah.
All right. Any other comments from the audience? From the board? I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve as submitted.
Second.
All in favor? All
Thank you so
opposed?
much.
No one? Thank you.
What is the time frame for the permit?
I think if
1 year.
1 year?
1 year? Good.
It's good for a year. You cannot pull a permit for 15 days. There's a funny provision in the code that says if one of the neighbors wants to complain to city council that this board approved it and they didn't like it, that they've got 15 days to do it. So you can pull a permit in 15 days. Approval is good for a year.
But they do need a building permit to construct, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe so.
You need a building permit to install it, which will probably cost next to, I just had a fence put in, it cost me $25. So just one of those hoops you have to jump through, and Ms. Anderson can tell you who to get in contact with, and the city wants their $20.
That'll be in the letter that you'll get.
Yeah. All right.
Right. Frank Canada and Dwight Olive.
Ms. Brown, we can hear it last, they'll be back.
Ma'am?
They will be back, we will hear this one last.
Okay.
Roger that.
Thank you. You told me that in the beginning, and I completely forgot it. We could just go ahead and approve it, but I guess they have to be here, don't they?
Yeah.
Linda Humphrey, 367 Cloverdale Road.
Good evening. I'm petitioning to have a simple 8x8 deck attached to the back of my house. And it's pressure treated wood, that's the front. And the back simply has steps that are not, they're a little steep, and I just want the deck so that I can relax and be safe. Pressure treated wood, no skirting, no paint.
Okay. Is there anyone from the audience to speak to this?
The Garden District submitted a comment in writing. No objection.
All right. Any comments from the board? Other than you have one of the cutest houses in the Garden District.
I'm sorry.
One of the cutest houses in the Garden District, certainly
Oh,
on your
thank
street.
you. I appreciate that. I'm working on it. Thank you.
It's great.
Oh, my God.
All right. May I have a motion?
Move to approve.
A second?
Second.
All in favor? All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Cohen Knowles, 944 Cloverdale Road, Old Cloverdale. Good evening. You need to speak directly into the microphone.
Okay, I'm sorry
or we
about
won't
that.
be able to hear you.
And you can take your mask off if you
Okay,
wish.
all right. All right, Wes Lord is here with me. Wes has asked Wes to do the work. What we're talking about doing is adding a screen porch on the back of the house. I live right next door to the Cloverdale Playhouse. So what we're talking about doing is doing a screened-in porch, put a fireplace in it, we're hang a TV out there and watch football games in the fall. The original plans we drawn up are like 25 feet across and 16 feet back from the house. I've got 37 feet from the back of the house to my garage. I'd like to take it back an additional 2 feet where it would be 25 by 18. Reason being, years ago I did a garage where I used to live, and I had a standard storage room. And they said, "You'll give you a standard storage room at 6 feet." Well, it was 6 feet from exterior wall to exterior wall. So by the time I got my storage room, I only had 4 feet of storage room. So I wanted to take it out an additional 2 feet so we have plenty of room.
All right. You've already got a great front porch. You could spend your entire life outside now. You've got a great front porch already. You could,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
could spend the rest of your life outside. You don't need a house.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Any comments from the audience? Or from Darby?
Calvin came to our board meeting and we discussed it and we're all fine with it. It looks great.
Okay, thank you. Any comments from the audience? I mean, from the board?
Just a clarification, the application says 16 by 25. You want it, not that it makes any difference. You want to make 18 by 25,
Yes, sir,
correct?
if we
Okay,
could.
okay.
I have a question. Are you trying to make it look like the front with like the little, the black marker on with the black marker on the photograph?
Yes,
It looks
ma'am.
like you're trying to make it look like the front. Is it
I'm
going to be
sorry.
down to grade, or is it going to come out like when you're in the house when you walk straight out?
You walk straight out, it'll be the same level as when you come out the back door.
Okay. Will it need any railings?
We're
be
going to
that
put
high?
that along whatever the proper height is for that.
Build concrete piers, it'll look just like the existing home. It's gonna cross face, it'll just be on piers.
Okay.
And that's pretty much, stick frame above.
Okay, the last question I have, and it's because you've got a side picture of the roof coming in under the existing roof and going lower. That's really going to drop your sight lines a lot, I think. Should all that sort of be raised a little bit? You know what I'm saying?
Well, especially since they've drawn it on the ground and we're saying we're going to have it. Are you going to what she's saying is, are you going to have enough headroom by the time you get down to the bottom of your slope at the wall?
There'll be about an 8-foot header height, and then the rafters will sit on top of that, so it's gonna be a 4-on-12.
Mike, can you pull up 6L?
It'll
Yes.
be about 12 slope.
When you look at 6L, this appears to be about 18 inches below your window, and typically those windows are at about 7-8 feet. So I kind of have some concerns that everything's going to look sort of like it slipped down a little bit, and I almost think it almost ought to have like a shed type roof and align with the existing roof line, like the front porch does.
admittedly, I drew the black magic marker there on that, and I'm not an architect.
We knew that. We knew that. But you
That-
did it.
that's
you-
why-
you
Yeah,
did-
I think that's what she's addressing.
That's why I'm asking for clarification.
Yeah, is the new roof on the new porch, is it going to attach to the old roof and be one continuous?
It is.
Okay.
All right. That's what we
That-
need.
that's what we were,
See, this
Come off the
shows,
fascia, see, but yeah, there's the
this
roof
shows
right
the
there.
roof like
It will
starting,
actually just extend off that fascia, that fascia board right there, it'll actually just extend off the same rafter. It won't come off that.
One more, Mike.
That we will move that little porch roof. It's
So-
like they said, porch roof.
so,
That will go away. It'll come off the fascia of the
Okay.
high roof there.
yeah, because
so the fascia of the new porch will line up with the fascia of the existing house and then raise up.
Yes, ma'am.
This is the reverse, it goes down.
Yeah.
Okay, right, and the existing roof now is about 6 on 12, and it will drop to 4 on 12, it's just be less than.
Because otherwise you're gonna have like you're gonna have like a 5-foot head height at that porch.
It will tie into the fascia of the system.
Okay.
The roof now. So you still, like I said, have just as a reference, if you see the porch right there, the bottom of the beam will be just about where the fascia of that little existing porch is. You'll have the beam and the rafters sit on top of that.
Okay.
Okay, because that shows something totally different.
Okay.
That shows something totally different. It shows the roof starting underneath your roof. So just asking for clarification.
All right.
What's graphically predicted is not what you described, so she was just getting clarification on what you described you're gonna build is actually the way it'll be. Which is good. You cleared it up, I think. You cleared up what she was saying.
All right. If there are no other further comments from the board, may I have a motion?
move to approve as presented.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? All right. Thank you.
All right, thank y'all.
We need to do 7 at the end as well.
Okay. Okay, 19 North Capitol Parkway. Is that,
That's the one we're gonna bump.
Go to number 8.
all right? Keep going, keep going. I knew I should have brought my paper.
$616.
All right, are you number 8?
We are.
All right. Jonathan Gayette and Paul Hard, all right.
We're just requesting, I'll just read it verbatim, request for approval of removal of an attached storage building and stairs, replaced with new stairs only for the property at 616 Thorn. So we just want to demo a shed built onto the side of the building along with the staircase, and then, yeah, and then it's all rotted, termite eaten, and we'll replace the staircase with just a straight run
Okay.
going down the side of the garage.
Okay.
So, and that's all.
This does not look like historic material to me.
No, it's not. Probably
Historic shed.
90s.
You want to just give a thumbs up or down, Darby, on that one? Okay.
All right. All right.
Thanks.
Okay. Any questions from the board?
I have a question just about the stairs. It's there now and you want to replace them, I understand. Is that the only way into that area, or is that just like a fire escape kind of thing?
It's the only entrance for that end of the house.
Okay.
And there's a door there too. Like if there weren't stairs, there'd just be a door to space. So,
Okay.
Yeah, her steps are real doozy without the staircase.
So, but, I mean, that's the only way, does that space connect into the house as well, or no?
it does through one door.
Okay.
But it's kind of like just kind of its own space. It's got a bathroom and it's a room.
It's like a fire escape kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a second exit in case, God forbid, the house were on fire.
All right. All right. Any further questions? Then I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve as presented.
Second.
All in favor? Huh?
Okay.
Go
Thank you.
and improve the neighborhood.
Thanks.
All right. Someone who brought their papers. Our next one, Norman Bridge Road. Leon
Correct.
Harris, 3131 Norman Bridge Road. Mr. Harris, how are you this evening?
I'm here requesting for the cover. Oh, I'm sorry.
You gotta get
I'm
the-
here requesting to place a cover on each side of the front. The crepe myrtle tree that you have listed, I want to keep that in place. I just want to attach that to the wall there, and the setback on the right side that will be in line with the pitch on the left.
So really, you're putting a roof in between these two piers.
Pardon me?
You're putting a roof over the area between these two piers?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you all do have another handout. Mr. Harris did, yes, the drawing showing the roof drawing on the photo of the house, of where everything will meet up.
Yes. Yes.
I like it. Symmetrical. Why isn't being symmetry in that?
Mr. Harris, I don't usually approve of people adding to the front of their houses, but this looks perfectly fine. I think it will be okay. I do have a question about the size of the columns that you're using to support the end of the roof. They're drawn really narrow, and they sort of need to be the same size as the ones that are
Right, they're going
they're
to
there
be equal to
now.
the, they're going to be equal to the existing columns.
Okay, that's good. That's perfect then. All right. Any other questions?
Just to make sure that when you put your roof on, that all your water just kind of flows away from the house, so you don't
Exactly.
kind of entrap any water when you kind of add those kind of roofs.
Did you say you're keeping the crepe myrtle tree, or you're keeping it? Okay.
I don't think I'm doing it, just branch it
Okay.
where it won't rest up against the roof.
Thank you.
All right. May I have a motion, please?
Move to approve as submitted. Or wait a minute, I'm sorry. Move to approve as presented since the gentleman wants to keep the crepe myrtle.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Second.
All right. All in favor? Opposed? Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you. Number 10, Skylar Brown. (1303) Felder Avenue.
How's it going? My name's Aaron Millis. I'm the, representative for Skylar Bowron.
Okay.
The work I'm requesting is a handful of things. It is removing our kitchen door and to just cover it with siding, the same vinyl siding like we already have on the house. The laundry room windows. Oh, sorry, I guess I should have gone in a different order. Well, that was the first thing if we're going off the pictures, is the door. That one we're retroactively requesting. We replaced it and then found out we need to ask permission for all the stuff like this, like the outside stuff. So that one's a retroactive request. The rest is what's pictured here. You see right behind the trailer is the kitchen door. There's three total exterior doors. Those two are I guess you call them the back doors, but one is the kitchen door and one goes to the laundry room. We're requesting to get rid of the kitchen door. And those are the windows in the laundry room. I forget what side of the house it's on, you'll see in a second, but we're requesting to get rid of those. That's the laundry room. We're planning to turn it into a master bathroom because the master bathroom is pretty small and the laundry room's pretty big. And if that did turn into the bathroom, those windows would be facing out to the neighbor. And there's still windows in that laundry room, or would be bathroom, and it would face to what is the backyard. And so we're planning to keep those. The reason for that door being removed is the kitchen on the inside is also being remodeled, and there's a gap in the countertop space where we would just want the countertop to go fluidly all the way down the wall, and it would open up the kitchen, but there's a door there. And there would still be a back door, technically, with the laundry room one, if we were to get rid of the kitchen door. We're also requesting this color paint for all of the vinyl siding for the entire house. And
Gray, was it gray?
yes, it's a Home Depot color. It's called dark pewter, but it's basically just gray.
Okay, and it's vinyl siding now, correct?
Can you say that again?
It's vinyl siding now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Oh, that was it. The last thing, I don't know if it's, I think it should be on here. Yeah, the fence. So the kitchen door is exactly basically where the fence line, the proposed fence line would come to. How the fence is currently set up, if the laundry room door is considered the back door, you have to walk, like I currently have to leave that door and walk to my backyard to open the fence, like with my dogs, so they're kind of like out in the open for a few steps. And that's the idea with moving the fence up, is to basically turn the laundry room door into a back door. And so I guess if you were to just open your door, you could have your animals run out without the worry of them getting loose or something like that. That's it though. The fence was the last one.
Any comments from the audience? What happened to the door that was there?
We removed it and replaced it with this new one from Lowe's, and then that's when we got the notice about.
What happened to the door?
We gave it to a neighbor that drove by and saw the doors that we're replacing, and they asked if they could have it, and we gave it to them.
Okay.
I forget who it was, but I could tell you if I needed to.
Can you get it back?
I mean, my girlfriend is the owner, and I'm here because she's at work. But the lady like left us a note, and I know she lives in the area, so I'm sure we could find out. But yeah, we gave her the door.
Yes, Ms. Darby.
I'm representing the Old Cloverdale Association. When the owner of the house bought it, did the real estate person tell her it was in a historic district and what that required?
I'm pretty sure that was another thing I wanted to mention, just because the other agent, I work with her, we're in the same brokerage, Jenny. She brought this up to me. I'm pretty certain she told me it was a historic district, but regardless, I know somebody said that we or I had some sort of like regret about buying. I mean, we definitely messed up replacing the door, and that's on us for not knowing, but as far as at least what she told me she heard about us feeling bad about her or any kind of way, like it was her fault or that we regret buying the house in general, I don't know where that came from, but yeah, she told me it was historic. I know we ended up finding out for certain with the notice, but yeah, as far as me coming here, I didn't know this was a thing, but that's definitely not her fault.
Okay, well, she should have told you, and she should have told you what that meant. So that is on her and on the real estate company. The door that was put in is not, we don't think it's in keeping with the house. We certainly think the original door there was much better. We hate to lose windows in any house, but we're not all that opposed to taking out the windows. We're okay with taking out the kitchen door. Those doors are right next to each other, so there's really no sense to have two of those. Moving the fence up so that the back door will be behind the fence is fine. The color looks okay. It looks a little blue in the picture up there, but it's probably...
It's not.
It's not.
Gray.
It's gray. Okay. And is the trim going to be white?
Yes.
Okay.
I know there's like the fireplace is brick, and there's a brick on the lower part of the house. So everything else, the windows, all the trim would be white. So it'd be just the gray and the white. That's the only color. They're the only two colors.
Okay, I do know with talking with Christy that y'all had ordered vinyl windows, but y'all do understand that any kind of change in a window would have to be approved by ARB?
Yeah, she told me, I've reached out to a couple people now, but she referred me to
Marshall.
The one you guys don't say we have to get permission through because I guess they're really familiar. But yeah, we canceled the vinyl windows when we found that out.
Okay.
If I may, I was going to bring it up later, but since Darby brought it up here, and I'm sorry Jeremy's not here to heap praise upon him, but he and I had a conference call with Brad Owens at the Montgomery Area Association of Realtors, and we are working with them to try to get their system to, they're exploring the possibility of letting their system auto-populate historic designation with a listing, and also the possibility of uploading our historic district brochure as a document to go with it, because apparently some of the realtors have their own contracts that they upload, so it does have that capability, so they're looking into that as well. We're not there yet, but Jeremy has really been making those connections, and we're closer than we were 2 months ago. So.
All right, good. Comments from the board on this project?
The door replacement, what was what led to the need to replace the door?
I can't state, I guess, the exact condition it was in, but for the most part, it just looked bad. I wouldn't say it's maybe dilapidated, but it looked like it had mold, or it was definitely not appealing. And again, not knowing about this, we just immediately put it on the list of things to be replaced, and that's basically why. If we weren't dying to get rid of it, it just didn't look great.
But you do feel like the neighbor may give you that door back, or you may be able to get one to look more similar than
I mean, we
to
can
that door.
definitely, if it's gone, if they can't get it back, we can definitely get whatever we need to get to replace it if the door doesn't work. I mean, I'll definitely ask her to see, but I know the lady was trying to get it because her son was moving in a house and they were doing stuff with it, so it could already be in place somewhere. But we gave them a bunch of free doors, so maybe they would give it back. We'll see, I guess.
Well, it's basically the same style of door, except that it's got that leaded glass in the top, which is a little Victorian for this house. That was a real solid, plain, ordinary craftsman door that you took down. If she's concerned about energy efficiency as far as these windows are concerned, a storm window with these wooden windows is as good as any new window, and it'll probably last longer, and it'll be cheaper too. So you might ask her to consider that if energy efficiency was what she was concerned about.
That was on the list. Somebody explained that to me, and I'm definitely not the window expert, but it made it sound like the glass or the existing, I don't know, I guess the glass parts of the window would stay, and then the storm window is kind of like going over it, or again, I don't completely understand it, but the efficiency is part of it, but the windows definitely look bad on top of, like, a lot of them have gaps in them, or just like the glass is cracked, or air is just coming straight through, and it's just not an ideal situation. Again, we're going to figure out the windows situation.
Okay.
And I know somebody suggested what you just said, and again, I don't completely understand it, but if it has anything to do with keeping the windows how they are and kind of just putting something over it, they would still look pretty bad, and that's not necessarily what we're trying to do.
Well, they look good to me, frankly.
Okay.
But then I like them old, that's my job.
Sorry.
And that's the beauty of old windows, is if you have a cracked pane of glass, you can remove the glazing points, and replace one of the panes themselves. Or with a modern window, if the glass breaks, you're replacing the whole window. So I think with a little TLC and some fresh paint, I think your windows will look a lot better, and you'll be happy with the way they look with some storm windows, the added energy efficiency of some storm windows as well.
Does a storm window actually replace like the panes or anything?
No, it's another piece of glass that goes over the outside of it.
Okay, that's rough.
You just need to do maintenance on the windows to replace the broken panes and things.
Okay.
And I would try, we've had good luck in our house just washing the windows, that the glazing in our windows had molded and mildewed, and just taking some Dawn dish soap and mixing with water and then a kind of a soft bristle brush really improved the look without any paint or any major repairs to the windows.
Okay. Gotcha.
We do have a window repair and maintenance, maintenance, repair, and replacement guide on our website under the Architectural Review Board page as well.
They sent me a link to that. I was looking at it, and that's when I reached out to the Marshall Millworks. But I do know what you're talking about. So okay.
Just for your consideration, I'm not saying do this or don't do this, but the two windows that you want to remove, it's because if that's going to be a bathroom, those windows are too big and look out into a public space. Correct?
Pretty much. To be totally honest with you, now that we've been thinking about it on the list of things we're requesting, that one's the least important. Because initially we thought it would be in the way of where we were going to move the interior wall to separate the laundry room from now the new bathroom, but it's not, it's like the wall is going to go around the window, so it's not honestly a huge deal. I guess we could just put the lines up.
But you can, a way to avoid having to remove these windows would be to cover them on the inside with plywood that's painted black, because if you look into these windows now, you realize that, it just looks pretty black in there. And then you can just put the wall up over the windows, and the windows remain in place.
You're saying put the wall up on the inside and leave the windows how they are?
Just leave the windows where they are. You'd have to probably take the sill off the inside of the window, but then just build the wall over it and leave the windows in place.
I gotcha.
Either that or put the windows in the attic so the next person who wants to put the windows back in will be able to find them.
Okay.
Any further discussion? Ready for a motion?
Madam Chair, I move that we deny permission to replace the front door basing on that it's not aesthetically compatible with the home. I move that we approve the window removal, relocation of the fence, and permission to paint the exterior of the house.
All right.
And the door? Removing the door as well, right?
Yeah, the kitchen door.
And the kitchen door.
Yes, remove the kitchen door.
Did I?
Not a
Sorry.
problem.
And remove the kitchen.
Yeah. Second.
No.
All in favor?
Katie had a question. She was.
I was just verifying that the fence was part of that.
Yes. All in favor? Opposed? All right. Thank you.
So what was the vote? What was the vote?
Everybody voted for it.
Everybody's, thank you.
Back to 7.
Okay, so we're back to number 4.
4.
He's coming.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
Capitol Parkway?
Frank, number 4, Frank Canada. Is that you, Frank?
No, I'm Dwight Olive. I represent Frank Canada. He could
Okay.
not be here.
Okay.
So I'm here to represent him for the property at 3139 and 3141 LeBron Road.
Okay.
We had a arborist come out that you guys had sent out there that deemed the two trees were very diseased. Prior to that, It broke lots of shingles off the house, which are asbestos. We cannot put an asbestos roof back on it, so we're here to, I saw your color palette for the house. So we're having to call in a specialist and vacate the property for 2 days, if it's approved by you guys, to have these shingles properly taken off and disposed of, and then put on an architectural shingle roof. So it's going to be a good process and a very expensive one. The tree did damage the neighbor's car when a big limb fell off and smashed the hood of his car. That was prior to us calling you guys or emailing you. And then limbs just started falling off of it. You could crawl down inside this tree that was closest to the house, and the one that was beside it was the same way. They both had to go. You know, we really hate that they did, but I think it would have destroyed the house had we not, you know, proceeded with what we had to do. It was very expensive to have them done. So anyway, we're here to get you guys to approve that we can proceed with removing this asbestos roof off of it and putting on a architectural shingle roof.
All right. Any comments from the audience?
I beg your pardon?
I'm asking if there are any comments from out there. Comments from the board?
Does it matter which shingle? Anybody have a preference? I don't.
I don't know what mountain sage looks like.
It's a dark.
What we have done, and not in this area that you are governed over, all of our other rental properties, we have put a color called weatherwood.
Yes.
That's a very calm looking color. I didn't see it on your palette of colors, but if we could do that, and it's certainly up to my brother-in-law what he wants to do. He's going to follow the guidelines that you tell us to do. The house has right now got 5 leaks in it due to the shingles being broken, you know, so it...
Well, this was probably the original roof put on this house, so I would say
Yes, ma'am.
we got our use out of it.
Right, as far as I know, it doesn't have much underlayment under it, so when these shingles come off, and looking at the picture up front, if you'll see the valley up at the top to the left of that front door, up there, you can go up in the attic and put your hands in there and do like this. That's how much opening there is. And so we couldn't tarp it because of the tight roof. You can't nail anything on those shingles. Couldn't put sandbags on it and all like that. So I had to go up in the attic and put plastic containers down to try to keep down any more damage. And again, we've got, you know, I know it's neither here nor there. We've got another hurricane coming in that I hope God doesn't send us a lot of rain on, but he's in charge. So insurance has been involved with it. We're just waiting on the approval from y'all to say we can carry on and get this taken care of.
Any further discussion? May I have a motion then?
Is there anything?
Go ahead.
Is there anything from Clover Idlewild?
Darby left, I think.
Well, this would have been.
This is CIA.
CIA. Me personally, I think the charcoal with the red brick makes a more classic look than the weathered wood in this instance.
Would that be okay with you, Ms. Huff?
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Charcoal with the wood, with the brick, would that be okay?
It's a charcoal, kind of a gray, black color.
Yep.
If that's what you say I got to do and I can't do weatherwood, that's fine. It doesn't matter to me.
I just don't know what weatherwood looks like, and I think, like you said, let's just go with something we know.
I don't want to take up your time, but I could pull it up on my phone and let you see it.
That's all right.
Weatherwood is kind of a brownish, grayish mixed type shingle. It's a very appealing to the eye shingle. It's nothing that looks outstanding, you know, but if y'all say we need charcoal, then that's what we got.
The charcoal's more of a slate color.
Yes. Well, that roof there is mighty dirty. You know, it's been on there since that house was built, I'm sure.
Sure.
All right. Motion?
Move to approve and I'm just going to go ahead and stipulate that you have a charcoal Just
I don't
because
know if it was-
that's my neighborhood, and I know that those have been used a lot before in replacing these asbestos roofs.
And let me say this, and then I'm done. When some of the limbs that came down and damaged a guy's car, it also tore up our sidewalk, actually 24 feet. And we've left it alone till all this was approved. We are going to put it back exactly like it was to the house. We're not going to take it all out. We're just going to replace the broken section, you know.
You're just going to repair it. You don't need to worry about us. And I think the same storm that took out those trees or hit those trees took out my wife's car. So neighbor's cedar tree came and landed on the back. So.
Okay. No, you're not the next door neighbor.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
All
So
right.
we're all done?
So you got a motion, we need a second?
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? All right.
Now we're done. All right.
Okay.
Thank
Charcoal
you.
it is. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. Y'all have a good evening.
Thank you.
So number 7.
I like that.
Oh, I do too, but it looks better on a frame house than it does on a brick house. Yeah.
Number 7 here.
I'm doing number 7.
Oh.
That's why I pushed it.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay, what's it? Is that everything, or we got one more?
You're here for 7? You want to do it?
Somebody do this. Let's go.
Because I know
I think you're more the same than I do.
Tom Richardson.
This was like odds and ends week.
Well, I'll let you go over there.
Well, at least we haven't had any in-depth discussion on anything.
Well, I will say that item 1, what we initially heard was going to be an even bigger version of the same thing you all had already looked at and said no. So,
So we dodged a bullet there.
I called that.
The third time here, it was 3 strikes, you're out, and I wouldn't mind telling them. But
Let's get your name.
Jake Schumacher?
Okay. I've been speaking with Tom
Anyone need a-
Richardson.
Anyone need a spelling?
Yes, please.
S-H-U, M-A-R-D, and the first name Jake, like from State Farm.
Thank you.
So he's used to being asked that question. So this is a property, once again, the same listing agent that had a house diagonally across the street where those folks got in trouble for a porch rail because it was done to get the closing done.
All about the money.
Did not, and I asked the realtor after I got this complaint whether or not it was part of her, if she disclosed it, and the only comment I got was, well, I didn't have anything to do with the buyer. I'm like, well, that doesn't answer my question. But so there's a backyard fence, not a big deal, something that y'all would have approved. The biggest issue is this gate right at the front corner. It's only maybe 10 feet wide. There's not a lot of space there. It's not as egregious as some, but it's another instance where this is where I was going to tell you about the realtors that we're trying to get there. So I think we've gotten it to where they're going to start treating it like information, like which school district is this house in? You know, that it's information that you need to know to make that decision. Because if you want to live in Cloverdale or Capitol Heights, but you don't want rules, then you need to find a house that's not in one of those neighborhoods, because it's not for everybody. And I did send a letter to Lowe's because they were hired to do the work and didn't pull any permits either. So, so this is a request for approval after the fact. And you saw the letter that was submitted. It's an estate that's being probated now. They want to get this right and probably, I'm going to guess, probably put it back on the market since they're out of town. But
How about we get with the city council and get an ordinance passed that if a realtor doesn't disclose that the home is located in a historic district and what that means, that, and then they do something and without knowing it, that the realtor has to pay for it, whether it's $20 or $10,000. I'd love to see something like that. You're not going to get them to do much of anything until you hit them in their pocket. I said it. I'm done.
Well, in this particular case, I really don't have any problem with the privacy fence gate abutting the corner of the house because the porch is so prominent and heavy. That's really where your eye stops. So that really, that doesn't look bad. It looks appropriate to me.
Doesn't look, no, I agree. It doesn't really look as bad as some would if it hit that corner like that. So.
And that was really it, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just that rear fence and the
Okay.
gate.
And we never object to rear fences.
Right.
All right. So may I have a motion?
Move to approve as submitted.
Second.
All in favor? All right.
Jake, how did you get the responsibility of being here tonight?
I was just here in case another neighbor came to fight against it.
Oh, so you live in the area?
Yeah, I'm right in front of the house.
Okay.
Lamont next door went through the
I know which
approval.
house here, because I used to live 2 doors up from this one, and I live on South Capitol Park right now. So
Okay.
it's in Morgan and Campbell. Is that right?
Yeah.
No, Williams.
There are two identical fences, so any question of uniformity just isn't there. It'll look beautiful.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, yeah, I did, and I'll let them know. And I'm sorry, I didn't know anyone was coming, so I bumped it last, so nobody else had to listen to it.
Why speak if nothing's at issue? That's perfect.
All right. Has everyone reviewed the minutes that were mailed to us? Any additions or corrections? No? Then the minutes stand approved as read. And we may go home.